Some people see you as an unlikely champion of open source today. You're laughing.
Well, I don't know why. I mean, I actually think, well, I get it, but yeah.
You understand the word unlikely.
Yeah. We've actually, at Meta, have been pretty big proponents of open source for a while. And it's been a really good formula for us. So dating back to how we design servers, how we design our data centers, we have this whole open compute project that kind of standardized a lot of the infrastructure for the industry. And that's going to happen with AI too.
You're really putting a stake in the ground by open sourcing your AI in this attempt to build the AI rails for the future. How much of this is a strategic way to control or own the next technology wave?
A lot of how we've grown up over the last 10 or 15 years was building our apps through phone platforms that our competitors controlled. So it's somewhat soul-crushing to like go build something that you think is going to be good and then just get told by Apple that you can't ship it because they want to like put us in a box because they view us as competitive. You know, we're a big enough company now that one of the things that I've resolved is that for the next generation of technology, I want us to build and have more control over the next set of platforms that we're going to build. So I think AI is a critical one, and I think augmented and virtual reality is another critical one. It's kind of the way that we can control our own destiny on this and make sure that we have access to leading AI is by building it and having it become an industry standard, but it actually gets stronger by being able to share it and have the ecosystem around it.
You're continuing to improve Meta AI across all of your products, but also as a standalone chatbot. Why should we use Meta over ChatGPT?
Well, there's a bunch of things where it's better. You know, one of the things that we're rolling out soon is the ability to just like imagine stuff. You're typing something in real time. I do this with my daughters all the time. And as you're kind of typing and entering the query, it's just generating the images as you enter the keystrokes. It's just really cool. My goal for the Meta AI launch, which I mean, it's only really a few months old at this point, was to, by the end of the year, have Meta AI be the most used AI assistant in the world. And I think we're basically on track for that. I mean, there's hundreds of millions of people who are using it.
By the end of this year?
Yeah, and I think we're going to be there before the end of the year.
So you're releasing Llama 3.1, this family of models, big and small, including the biggest open source model ever, 405 billion parameters.
Yeah.
What does that jump unlock?
I actually think the main thing that people are going to do, especially because it's open source, is use it as a teacher to train smaller models that they use in different applications. If you just think about like all the startups out there, or all the enterprises, or even governments that are trying to do different things, they probably all need to, at some level, build custom models for what they're doing. And it's really hard to do that with closed systems out there, whether that's OpenAI or Gemini, Google's thing, or whatever. And this is like, gets to a pretty core part of our philosophy is we don't believe there's going to be like one AI to rule them all. Our vision is that there's going to be millions or just billions of different models out there.
So not one God, but many? Is that the way to think about it?
Well, I don't think they're going to be gods. But I do think that to some degree, if you're like an organization and you think you're going to create like this one super intelligence, it does have this feel to me of like people trying to create a god. And that's just, I find that both the wrong way to look at it, but just also very unappealing. You know, there's almost 200 million creators on our platforms. They all are trying to build their community. People want to interact with them. There aren't enough hours in the day. Like, I want to make it so that every single one of them can easily train like an AI version of themselves that they can make it what they want. So it's almost like a kind of artistic artifact that they're putting out there for their community that allows their community to interact with them, but also gives them control over how that interaction happens.
Facebook and you have been blamed for a lot of things, whether you agree or not. Why should we trust you with AI?
Well, it's a loaded question. We have gotten blamed for a lot of things. And I mean, look, I take our role in all this stuff seriously, and I think we've tried to handle all this as well as possible. I'm not sure that it's all been fair, but like, I'd like to think that we're an important and relevant company, so I think the scrutiny is generally healthy. One of the defining things around open source is that anyone can scrutinize the work. And because of that, I think it just puts a lot of pressure to make sure that the quality of the work that you're doing gets better really quickly.